England spiraled to a miserable and massive defeat by India on the fourth day of the third test in Rajkot. In perhaps their worst performance since captain Ben Stokes and coach Brendan McCullum took charge, England were dismantled by Yashasvi Jaiswal's 214 not out, then capitulated with the bat. Set a notional 557 to win, the tourists were bundled out for an embarrassing 122 in a blur of irresponsible strokes. The 434-run margin of defeat is England's largest in terms of runs since 1934 and India's biggest of all time. India, who take a 2-1 lead in the series, were led by the brilliant Jaiswal's second double century in as many tests. The opener returned on 104 after retiring hurt on the third evening and took his tally to 12 sixes, equaling the record for a single test innings. In partnership with Sarfaraz Khan, who made 68 not out, Jaiswal took India to a declaration on 430-4. Left-arm spinner Ravindra Jadeja ran through England's middle order for figures of 5-41, to go with the century he made in the first innings. The fourth test begins on Friday in Ranchi, where an India win will preserve an unbeaten home record that stretches back to 2012. This was an astonishing implosion from England, who began Saturday with a golden opportunity to take control of the match, only to be crushed by Sunday evening. It was a performance from a bygone age. England dropped crucial chances, misused the decision review system and at times saw their bowling dismantled by the India batting. Most disappointing was England's own batting. They surrendered the initiative with a collapse of 8 wickets for 95 runs in their first innings, then were absolutely awful in the second. So often England talk about their love of chases, whereas just taking this game into a final day would have been the minimum requirement. What makes the defeat all the more galling is the fact India played more than a day of the match with 10 men after off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin returned home because of a family emergency. Ashwin, who withdrew on Friday evening, returned on Sunday and took a wicket in his 6 overs. For any team to win one test in India, let alone an entire series, is an incredibly difficult task, yet England have let chances slip by. The superb win in the first test in Hyderabad now feels a long time ago, surpassed by the wastefulness of the second and third tests. Somehow, they must regroup for Ranchi. This is turning into Jaiswal's series, confirmation that the 22-year-old has arrived as a superstar of the global game. He had to retire hurt with a back injury on Saturday, but not before helping India to 196-2 overnight. Returning after Shubman Gill was run out for 91, Jaiswal's awesome demolition of the England bowling effectively meant he made 2 separate hundreds in the same innings without being dismissed. Just like on day 3, Jaiswal slipped gears in an instant, scooping James Anderson over his shoulder in the first over after lunch. In Anderson's next over, Jaiswal flayed 3 consecutive sixes. Debutant Sarfaraz kept pace with Jaiswal for his second half-century of the match. The 6th wicket pair added 172 in 158 riotous balls, laying waste to the England bowling in the unbearable afternoon heat. Jaiswal's single off Joe Root made him the 3rd youngest man, after Vinod Kambli and Don Bradman, to make double hundreds in successive tests. He hit the next 2 balls for 6 to match the record set by Pakistan's Wasim Akram against Zimbabwe in 1996. India declared at the end of the following over, the first team to do so against England since Stokes and McCullum took charge just under 2 years ago. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on more inspiring stories from the world of sports.